Hi everybody, this is Tor Storley, and I am back with another video. In this video, we're going to take a look at how you can use flock image processing to analyze images. Let's download some images, put in a folder, and load them into DuckDB, and then we're going to run our analysis from DuckDB. We want to convert the image into text, and you can do that using this Python code that I got in front of me here. So what you can do is you can import this base64 library and you can import DuckDB. So right now I'm connected to my virtual environment called DuckDB here on my machine. I created a folder called base64 image, put a bunch of images that I downloaded from the internet, and I put them in here. Then I created a notebook called base64 image-generator. And of course, as part of this, we're going to create this DuckDB database. If it exists, it will open it. If it doesn't exist, it will create it. And to convert an image into text is pretty straightforward here in Python. You create a function, call it image to base64, and you're passing in the path to the images. And of course, it's going to be in the same project. Then you open the path, meaning the image, as an image file. And then you're going to read this file into this variable here. So you're reading the data, and then you want to encode it into base64 by using this function, base64.b64 encode, and then you're passing in the data here. And then you're getting a variable that's going to hold the results, and then you're simply going to return as a UTF-8 image string. And once you're done with that, we're going to, or import, I should say, into DuckDB. All right, so let's run that function so it's ready for us. And now what we want to do is set up a connection to our database. So it's going to be this one down here. So let's run that. And as you can see, I'm using a complete path. What I want to do is I want to create some kind of sequence. So I'm going to create a sequence in DuckDB so we can have automatic primary keys. Okay, so it says that it already exists. I probably should get rid of it if it exists. So let me see if I can drop that, because I wanted to start over with fresh numbers. So now let me recreate this sequence. All right, done. Now, if the table exists, this base64, what we could do is we can just quickly take a look and see if it actually exists. And if it does, we can drop the table. So let's see, get a code cell here. Do this, and we say show tables, basically. Write that in. All right, so that table exists. So let's drop that table so we can start fresh. And now, if you want to, you could close connections, but you probably should do that at the end here. So I want to create that new table now, and I want to base it on this auto insert of this sequence. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and the primary key. And the primary key is the ID field. Then I'm going to have a varchar for the image name, and I'm going to have a text field for the base64 data that comes from the image conversion. So let's run that. Let's just look at the table, make sure it looks good. ID is an integer, image name is varchar, and this is varchar, and then there's some additional settings here that you can look at. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to import this path lib from Python. I want to point to this folder, as you can see here. That's going to be my image directory. Then I want to look for these type of extensions, so JPEG or PNG files. Then for each file in this directory, I want to loop through it. I look for the extensions. I want to capture the names. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to call that function that's going to convert the image into a text string. And that's going to go in here. And then I want to insert it into this table we just created. And I'm going to do the image name and this, because the ID will automatically be generated by the sequence. Then I want to print it out. And if there's any problems, then we run this. All right, so let's run that and see what happens. Make sure I have run everything up to this point. Yes. So run this and done. So it inserted all these images into the database. All right, so let's just check one and make sure. Notice that this string now has been converted into this big, long text string. Can you see that? All right, so that's the chopper one. So let's just clear the output here so it looks cleaner. Okay, so now we're done with importing the data into DuckDB. So here you can see what those images look like. We have like one of my previous videos for great tables, an image of that. We have some animals that I downloaded, birds, cats. I don't know if this is a mouse, a rat, squirrel, dog. And here you got some scenery. And here you got a couple of choppers that I downloaded images from. Here's a lady with a white vase with some flowers in it. All right, so those are the images that I put into that DuckDB database. So the next thing then is to actually run DuckDB UI so we can take a look at this. So let's open the DuckDB CLI, call start UI as a function, and it should fire up a web browser so we can actually work in DuckDB UI. And here you can see the address to that one. All right, so let's minimize that and let's drag over our UI. I created this Flock LLM image demo notebook. The first thing you need to do is load Flock. So let's run that. It doesn't like it. And the reason it doesn't like it is because I'm referring to a database here. But that database is not in memory yet. So what I have to do, I have to go down here on this left-hand side, do the plus sign, and load a local database. And the one I'm interested in this location, and that's the one you remember from our Python project. That's where I saved that database. So let's load that and let's give it an alias. So I call it Flock Images. So that'll be the name of our database. And now up here you can see I'm pointing to that one. So now when I run it, it seems to do okay. So don't forget to add the database to your process here. Otherwise, you're not going to have much happening. Now, if there is a secret here, I can see it by running this, and it doesn't appear to return anything. So there's no point of dropping the secret. I noticed you might have to put this in front of it because sometimes this HTML get cached or whatever. So I had to do this in order to make this work. But there's nothing to drop. So if I want to, I can run it like this. And now it's true. So if I look at it now, you can see here is the secret. So if I'm going to run this drop, I have to do it again like this. And now you can see it ran. If I try to look at my secrets now, it's probably gone. But let me double check. Yep, it's gone. So let's create that secret one more time. Here it is. True, success. And also, I have this OpenAI key here. So I have some kind of account I can use. But I'm going to load this just so I can demonstrate this for you. So right for now, let's minimize this side here and let's minimize this side so we have more working room. Okay, so this is a long thing here. That's the key. So let's create that key as well. And let's look at, make sure we have both. There they are, OpenAI and Ollama. Okay, so we got those. Then I can create a model for this GPT. If I create the GPT 4.0 model, I can do this. So let's create that. Oh, it already exists. So why is that? Well, let's take a look. It's a global model. So it's a global model that has already been put in here for OpenAI, as you can see. So I also have this Lava 3.2 vision model. And I have this just Lava here, which is the Lava latest. And then I have, this shouldn't be Lava, it should be Llama. Okay, whatever. And then I have this one here. I don't need to create this because it exists. I don't need to create this because it exists. And in case you wonder, you could just open a command window like this. And I think I showed this in my previous video. So make sure you check with that if you want to learn more about Flock itself, okay? You can just type Ollama list like this. And then it lists all the models that you have downloaded here. And in order to get another model, all you have to say is Ollama pull, and then the name of the model you want to pull. So one of these names here. That's all you have to do. I had to update my Ollama yesterday because I wanted this bigger model, but I had to install a new version of Ollama in order to get this downloaded. So, but there is how you can do that. All right, let's look at tables. So there is a table we created in that database called Flock Images. And what I can do then, I can look at the first 10 rows, and here they are. So if you look at it here, this is simply this long base64 text string for each image. So it's a long text string, okay? And here is the title of the image name. I can use one of these models I created, And if you remember, I had a couple of models. One of them is called this, and one of them is called this. So those are the kind of models I will be using mostly. Let's try chopper 2 and see what it gives us. So I'm going to call chopper 2, so which that is number 2 primary key. All right, let's try that and see what happens. All right, so I'm going to run this model. So let's try to run this and see what happens. Okay, so it's going to run for a few seconds because this model is a little bigger, so it takes a little longer on my computer. So I'm going to still it till I get the result. Okay, so it came back with this result. So let's look at the chopper one more time. It is this one here, the big blue one down on the bottom. Okay, so that's the chopper we're looking at. So let's see what it says about it. Okay, let's go back to our DuckDB output. You can click on it like this, and you can see over here, just move it up and drag it down. You can see it over here, and then you can pull it out a little more even. So as you can see, this image depicts the blue motorcycle parked on the road with visible trees in the background, as you can see. That's correct. The motorcycle has a distinct design, well, that's for sure, featuring a long curved handlebar. Yeah, that's correct. And a single seat. Well, yeah, it's a chopper, so I don't think it has too many seats. It appears to be a custom or vintage model, correct? With a unique paint job and possibly some modification to its engine or suspension. Well, that's probably true as well. The overall atmosphere of the image suggests a sunny day. Yes, I agree. There's shadows and stuff you can see. With the motorcycle parked in a peaceful, natural setting. Very, very good, actually. So this model did an excellent job of describing this image. Let's try one more, because I like the output I'm getting here. So let me try another one. So let me try number 12 now and see how it handles that one. So I'm going to still it again, and I'm going to run it here. So I can say Control Enter, and it's going to start running. So let me still it until it's done. Okay, so it came back with this number 12 here, and this is the description it has. Move this up so we can read this properly, like this. And the image itself looks like this, so just so you can compare it. It says a narrow street in an old town with stone buildings and cobblestone road, which is correct. Lined with trees. Well, it's not lined with trees. There's a tree on the top here, which is probably what it's referring to. And flowers. I don't see flowers unless there's something up here. And a few people walking around. No, so it's a little off on this one. It didn't really capture that one very well. So it didn't really work out. So let's try another model here and see what that will do. So now I'm going to try to run it through the smaller mini CPMV, which is another Ollama model. It should run a little faster on this one. So as you can see, this one totally missed the it comes back with some weird characters, some Chinese style characters. So that didn't work very well. So if you like this video, please give me a like and consider subscribing to my channel. That'd be fantastic. I look forward to see you again in the next video. Take care, everybody.